here's what I'm talking about real quick. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And I hate people. I'm trying to decide what I want in life. Let me tell you what you want. Well, could we just move along? That's my urgency thing. Just say freedom or something. But just say cars, houses, something. Just let's move on with the why. I'm trying to figure out my why. Pick something. And let's move on, because we're not, whatever it is, if we don't start getting it, we're not going to get it. We got to start getting it. We got to start the things we got to do. Remember the line? You go to the line. So here's the line. Come back to my coin one more time. Is that too much to ask? Right here where it says most valuable task. That's what we want to work on. Most valuable task. So you've got 10 different things you could do. I could get some leads. I could recruit the waiter. I could get better at learning the country music words better, so I could study that. I could get the lyrics and sing along, and that way I can learn it. I could get better. What's that army? I like it where they kill people, the video game. Call of Duty. I'm going to get better at Call of Duty. That's something you could do. I could watch another episode of Law and Order. It's not a bad idea, because you learn legal stuff that's going to be applicable in your business. True story. You could watch Gunsmoke. What's that one you like? Huh? What's the one with the sheriff? No, it's old. It's black and white. Andy Griffin Show. You can watch the Andy Griffin Show and learn some morals and how to raise a kid without a mommy and just a mean aunt. So what task do you do? Okay. So how do you make decisions on what you do? This is called the ABCDE method of making decisions. So if you're trying to make a decision, each of your options, you have to label your options. You could give Law and Order like a B or a C. You don't have to do it. It is entertaining. So here's the way it goes. All right. First of all, people always say, like, I feel like life's out of control. There was a guy standing right there. Girl brought it. This is my cousin. His life is a disaster. He said, I'm going through stuff, and this is happening, and the world's spinning around. If you want to have control, you just need to start going to ABCDE method. It'll give you a sense that you know what you're doing, a sense that you have some power over the world. Because, people are always upset about this thing about the stock market, okay? Now, first of all, if you're clients, we like them scared. Do not teach them this method. You understand what I'm saying? So we want them to think they're going to die and think the stock market's going under. But you don't buy into your lies. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, we want to be scared, right? But, because that's when people do stuff. Believe it or not, that's when they do stuff, so when they're scared. Like you do stuff when you're scared. Brian Adams was talking about somebody, and I said, consequences, baby. Anybody, if there's consequences, I mean, think about it. Your parents be like, give you $20, you wash your dishes. Be like, I ain't washing it. I don't need no $20. I'd get a job if I want $20. They're going to beat your ass. You'd be like, I'll get them right now. No? They will shoot you if you come over here. Okay. You with me? Them army men people. Consequences. That's why I'm scared. My scaredness is going back. I don't want to go back. I didn't like it. I don't want to go back. So you're either growing or dying. So I got to be growing because I don't want to be dying because I don't want to go back. Because remember that going line from here to there? I want to get to there. The main thing I want to get is not go back. So what do you do to feel in control? Because you feel like the stock market's politics and this and that and the other are all going crazy. How do you get that sense of control? It's the ABCD method. It works. Miracles. Okay. It's this line, if you're here, you are, and here you're going to get. They're seconds, 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 seconds. And I got to be thinking when I'm talking to you, I've got minutes, minutes, minutes. Each minute, each second, am I doing something that's getting what I want? Or am I turning you the other direction? I don't want you to do less. I want you to do more. I want you to be happy. I want you to be excited. I want you to get your tickets to A View from the Edge. I don't want to depress you on tickets. I want to sell you on tickets. In other words, am I going in the right direction? If you want to start feeling like you're going on in the right direction, judge every second and every minute, Jake. You're talking about this period of your life, or Belle, you want to know what's going to happen, is if each minute you'll think about ABCDE. Like, I'm weird about it. Jane it can be annoying to other ones around you. But to you, like, it's you, so what do you care? You know, like y'all know how your family's trying to pull you back sometimes. It's just, they have an opinion. It's like, you should go to this funeral, or you should go to this birthday party, or we should have the kid's birthday party on the kid's birthday. I'm like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. If it's not practical, why would you do that? Does that make any sense? People go, because. And I was like, what do you think? It's in the Bible or something? It's like a passed down privilege? No. Have a birthday party when it's convenient. Does that make sense? All right, so ABCD. A, things that are very important that have insane consequences. Jail time, I'm out. Does that make sense? Like, when he was, dude, I didn't like it when he was up here in them chains. I was like, that's one thing I never want to experience. I'm not putting them on. I'm not envisioning being like that. I'm rejecting that idea. Consequences. If the consequences are dire, don't do it. If you could make millions of dollars, do it. Does that make sense? If it'll make you happy as hell, do it. You see what I'm saying? But if you're like, I don't know if it's going to make much difference, don't, what? That's not an A. Okay. Got it? Somebody, phone call. Oh, God, this guy's important. Ooh, this guy could destroy my life. Ooh, this girl could make my life. Ooh, this agent could add another $100,000 a month. Take the phone call. This person is going to whine and complain. Hit the red button. Mine's actually got a cool button. I like it a lot. I see you calling. I'll give you a call. ... Not everybody call me. I see you calling. Can I give you a call later? ... I like that. If it's bad, I hit red. If it's B or A3 and I'm doing an A, I see you calling, I'll give you a buzz back. If I know you're bringing me some big money, I will hit you a custom. I got a custom. I hit custom. I'll be like, I'm with Brian Adams right now. I'll call you as soon as I walk out. You see what I'm saying? But that's because I know it's big money. That makes sense? If I know it's an absolute worthless call, I'll hit the red and you'll go straight to that voicemail that says, I don't take voicemails. You have no idea how many people come to me. That is funny as everything. I go, I don't do it. Because people talk so slow. And I'm not going to tell people, but I hit them on 2X. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I listen to it 2X. I can't do that. How are you doing? Move. Let's go. That's why that's where it gets annoying, is when I don't have the patience for okay. All right, so you should do, very important, has dire consequences. Millions of dollars, total freedom. Oh my God, like, that's what I'm saying. That if we bought 30,000 acres, we can do practically anything we want, 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year, no seasons. You can shoot stuff at night. You can fly helicopters. You can blow stuff up. Imagine that. That would be crazy. And my wife was like, you're going to have to pick. You can't do it all. And I was like, I know, right? Spencer, sell more. Build this thing big. B, this is you should do it, but the consequences are mild. Coworkers for lunch. Going to lunch that someone that knows about as much as you do. That might even be a B. That might be a C. Should do it. So dire consequences is very important. It's A. B is should do it. Like checking emails. I do not check emails. If you send me an email, send me a text to let me know that you sent me an email. And tell me what's in the subject line, because if I have to look at other emails looking for your email, it will not happen. Missy has my emails. She tries to watch for important ones because I do not. It is definitely on my should list. It's not on my nice to do list. It's my should list. So should is number 2. Mild consequences, I don't know what else. That's B. C is nice to do. 0 consequences, don't matter at all. And when I catch myself doing this, I get mad at myself, which I say mad at myself a lot. Reading news clips about something happening in a different country. Like, can you see where it's like it's interesting? Or casual shopping online. People say, like, how are you going to get your clothes if you don't casually shop? Buy what you need. Does that make sense? Buy what you need. How do you do that? The way I do it, I have a guy that looks up stuff and he sends me pictures of stuff that I might like. And I buy it or don't. I put a heart on it if I like it. I don't do nothing to it if I don't do it. And then he calls Miss A, and Missy coordinates getting the credit card, and he ships it, and I open it up. Does that make sense? Like, that's how you, like, I got to have clothes. Right? Yeah, trust me. It's very important. Nice to do, no consequences. D, can be delegated. So the casual shopping can be delegated, believe it or not. Now, I know Jane would say, not possible. That's her life. Every time I start telling her what to do, it does not go good. Did I tell y'all about the homeless guy in Detroit? You have to be careful about telling people how to run their life. Jeremico, where you at? You and Jeremico's with me. We come out of the meeting. I was showing a plan. I was feeling cocky as ever, you know, and I come out. And there's this guy out there, this homeless dude comes up to me, and Jeremico tried to push him back. And I was like, Jeremico, I'll chat with him. It's not a problem. I'm not scared. And he's like, you don't understand Detroit. So pulled out a stack of hundreds, and I'm flipping through them. And he said, can I get a 20? I said, nope. I was like giving him a hint. I'm doing hundreds, you know. I was like, nope, I ain't got no 20s. He said, I need a 20. I said, you need a 20? He said, I want a 20. I said, well, I ain't got no 20s. He said, that's what I need is 20. I said, what do you need it for? He said, I'm buy some liquor. I said, you want me to give you $20 because you want to buy liquor? He said, yeah, but give me some drink. I'm thirsty. I said, bro, can I tell you something? He's like, don't make no difference. I said, what you ought to do is say, give me some money and, you know, as much as you can spare. You look like you're doing good. Give a guy a compliment, you know, feed his ego, and then take care of how much you can get. The guy's got a stack of hundreds. You might get 3 or 4. You might get 1. But don't be so damn picky. He said, okay. And I said, in that story about the liquor, make up some story about kids back home, hungry. You lost your job and your wife's nursing. And he said, what do you do, sir? I said, I'm an insurance agent. I got thousands of people who sell all over the country. He said, how about this? I don't tell you how to run your job, and you don't tell me how to run mine. That's the way most people are. They don't want you. I know Jane's like that. People. Can it be delegated? You know how hard it was. See, and here's another thing. Like, it's such a contrary, because people see me give millions of dollars to charities, millions of dollars to NC State University, flying Murley all around the world. And you really need to go over there and see that. That's another thing. I would like to give Murley $1 million just to build whatever he wants to build over there. In India, oh my God, what you could do with $1 million. So you see me giving it, and then what you don't understand is how tight I am. Like, I'm just so don't want to do it. So, like, for booking airline flights for me, and I know some of y'all get them last-minute deals, and what do you call them? Well, Airbnb, but it's something else, too. It's last-minute deals on hotels, hotline, yeah. Oh, I remember about 8 or 9 years ago, I about got in a fight with some of the managers because they booked something, and then we changed it, and they're like, we already booked it. I was like, that's no problem. Just transfer it to that date. And they go like, you can't do it when you do it on hotline. It's like, oh, God. Do you book your own stuff? I was like, I'm starting to tell them what to do. They don't like it. So I would book my own flights, get the best prices, and make sure that it's what time I get up and what time I got there. This is before the jet. True that? This is back in the old days. I love what Grant Cardone said. There is no first class on a commercial plane. There's not coach. They should call it not coach. I would book these. I would just study these flights and pick the best price / what time it got there. And I remember the first time I was like, Missy, could you try to do this for me? And I was like, nervous wreck. And she did. She gave me one choice. And I was like, no, I need like 13 choices. But at least I didn't have to look up 13 choices. Well, then I would just pick which one I liked. And then I got her down to like 3 choices. Now, I think she gives me like usually sometimes 3, but most of the time just 2 choices, because she's figured out what I want. Now, what do I do now? We don't do private when we go international, except Bahamas and Canada. We don't do Mexico. We don't do anywhere in those European countries. We don't do Africa. But we do commercial to get to the location. We do private to the location. Then we get to the location, then we go commercial. So I do have, so in other words, I still do it. But it's delegated. I remember opening mail. How do you delegate open mail? Well, here's the way you do it. Your secretary puts all the mail, and you go through it one time. This one's trash. This one we keep, like that. Trash or keep, right? So then the next time they do a trash stack and a keep stack. And then you go down through the keep stack, you go, no, this is a trash. And then you go through the trash, you go, no, this is important. Why didn't you give me that? You do that 2 or 3 times, and then you don't have to do it anymore. And then all you got to do is show up, and it's opened up for you to the page you want to look at. Does that make sense? There's no more paper cuts. Imagine that in your life. No more paper cuts. Do you know how much time and money you waste on direct mail that people send you this junk? What kind of people send stuff in people's mail? Delegate. What in your life needs delegating? Here's what they say. Anything that can be done cheaper than the amount of money that you want to be making. I was like, what? Like, that's the rule. If it's not the money you want to make, then you can't do it. So if you're doing anything and you know that somebody could get paid $80,000, then that's what your limit. So if you could pay somebody $80,000, but you're doing it, or if you could pay somebody $35,000 to do it, then that's what your goal is. If you do it, then your goal is to be making $35,000. If you could pay somebody else to do it, I'm not sure if my English is coming out right. But if you could pay somebody like Joe, if you could pay somebody $260,000 to do that job that you think is complicated, you go, God, that probably costs $260,000. Well, if that's your goal, then you do it and don't pay somebody $260,000. But think about that. So if you're doing anything that you could pay somebody $10 an hour to do, then that's what you're attempting to get up to. I make $80,000. I could do it. That's not like I'm not trying to decrease my income. You understand you are trying to decrease your income by doing that. Because if you didn't do it, then you could do something that makes the money that you want to be making. Does that make sense? So delegating is a really tricky one. I kind of like it when my wife says, you're a control freak. And I'm like, not really. But I am. It looks like I am really a control freak, but I'm really not. No, it's the other way around. It looks like I'm not a control freak, but I really am. And the reason I say it looks like I'm not is like, do you really think I designed that coin? Do you really think I typed up the agenda? Do you really think I picked the food? Like, there's so many things that I absolutely don't do. Now, I did do it when I was broke, but I was trying to get out of it as fast as I could get out of it. Y'all understand where we're going is, what do you want? How do you get it? We're in the how phase of how you get it. You got to pay somebody to do stuff that's less than what you want to be making. Dude, can you imagine? How about this? A waitress bartender who has never employed anybody in their life now has, I don't know, I have to have a shout out. Megan, how many assistants do you have that do your administrative stuff? How many? Megan Wood. I don't see Megan saying that. Is Megan not? Is she gone? I seriously think she has 4 administrative assistants. I'm sorry, 3. Jeff Bright says 3. She has 3 full-time people. Listen to this. She don't drive to her appointments. She has 3 admin and 3 recruiters, and made just over $1 million. So if she paid them $50,000 each, she would keep $600,000. Is that my math right? Is that right? 6 times 5 would be $300,000. She would keep $700,000. Because that's terrible. If I made $1 million, I would want to made it. If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his butt when he jumped over the mud puddle. If every day was candy and nuts, something would be something. Every day would be like Christmas. That's what it is. So delegating is freaky. It's very difficult, especially if you're a control freak. And especially if you make this statement, I could do it in 1 second. It only takes 1 minute. It only takes 5 minutes. I could do it once. It'll take them 3 times. So I don't understand. I can just do it one time. I can be done with it instead of having to teach them how to do it. Now I teach them how to do it, and then they probably quit or something one day. I know it is kind of in a way, it's a nightmare getting rich. It's not the same nightmare as being broke. You understand? It's a different nightmare. It's a head problem. It's a head game. So like a broke person has very few things to think about. But if you're rich, it's like a million things going on all the time. People say, well, I don't want a million things going on all the time. You're in good shape then. Does that make sense? Just don't do nothing. Then you. It's kind of like man told me, he said, I was building all this stuff in my house and stuff. He said, Bo, do you know how many people are going to be happy you built all this? I said, what are you talking about? He said, this stuff's going to be breaking all the time. Koi ponds everywhere, water fountains, chairs, swings, lights, TVs outside. He's like, you're building a nightmare for yourself. I was like, I'm going to have a maintenance guy. He said, you're going to have a maintenance guy? I said, 2 if I have to. I'm not doing all that stuff. See how it's a nightmare? And they'll quit on you. One time, you remember that girl I hired I liked so much? Every bottle of liquor we had water in it. Do you remember that? The maintenance guy that worked there temporarily was a happy dude, but remember that? I thought she'd be awesome. She was not. The boy we got now, he's good though. What's his name? Todd. Just of all, let me tell you something. Not kidding you. One of the best, I don't know if it probably don't sound right, but one of the best purchases, one of the best money I've ever spent is having a guy 40 hours a day at my house to find anything broke, cracked, not painted, not working. His job is to fix it. And if he can't fix it, his job is to get somebody that can fix it, like an electrician or a mechanic or somebody that understands wells, pumps. Oh, what a nightmare that was. You're out in the country and your well goes out and you got to get in that thing and oh my God. Jane used to ask me stuff all the time. She still asks me stuff, but this stuff, she about stopped doing this. Did you know that doorknob needs fixing? Did you know that light bulb was out? I remember when I first, it wasn't Todd, but whoever it was, I just look at her. Kind of like Chris Norris asking that person, my name is not on the app, is that correct? Blah, 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 blah. My name is not on the app, is that correct? Blah, 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 blah. I just look at her. Because I say something, I might get slapped. I just look at her. Now, she tells me when she's getting them to do it. And you know what I do? I look at her. Like, why are you telling me? I don't know. But she tells me when she gets them to do stuff. I think, Gina, she has started to get them to do stuff and not tell me. I like that. Does that make any sense? Like, because every second, TikTok, next thing you know, I'm gonna be old as you one day, Jeff. I'm gonna be 60. Just like that. If I don't do it now, I'm gonna be doing it when I'm 60. Does that make sense? So when I'm listening to that about what she's telling Todd, I'm like, because I'm trying to think of I've been trying to think of March. Every weekend, guys, Diane Lampy, Stephen Davies, Mark Hutchinson, Adam Katz, Olga, every weekend is open in March on my calendar and yours. That sucks. We need to do some boot camps. So I'm trying to think of a boot camp and who to contact and coordinate it with. And she's telling me what Todd did, and I can't think, because it's hard to think of 2 things at once. Try to think of like Jeff Bright and a pink elephant right at the same time. So you're trying to think, because thinking's the hardest part, and you got to think of stuff. And if you're thinking about that, the flood happened. Oh my God, I just thought about that flood. It was a nightmare. We come in, what was it? When it went down to like 6 degrees in Burlington, we drove up and we pull up to the garage. The ones that know my garage, you come around the back, and there was just icicles 8-10 feet from the ceiling, and water was still pouring down. We got out, And I'm thinking, I'm not going to do nothing. But it's like, I don't know, 10:30 at night. We've been come home from basketball games since 11 o'clock at night. And it's just me and her. And I sit there and I go like, I am going to have to do something. And I walked around and I went down the basement, I went to the closet, and there was this lever right there. And I was like, went upstairs and it slowed down. I was like, I think I flipped the right dadgum switch. I was on a cloud that night. I was like, well, come here, baby. Daddy done fixed something. And that's the only thing I did, though. Well, I did walk, huh? Did I say call Todd? She said, I looked at her and said, call Todd. I probably did say call Todd. And you said something. Oh, you said he's out of the country. That's when I got pissed. I was like, what is a maintenance guy doing traveling international? I know the story. She told me the story, so I know why and what happened and how he's affording and all that. But that was I was like, what? Never a higher dollar, your maintenance guy should not go international. And so I was like, I flipped that switch. But that's the only thing. And then when all the people showed up the next day, I did walk around and went, yep. All right, delegate. E, this one I do not like. You may not like it either. It is things that cause you to go backwards that you are doing. Sometimes you call those things fun. Eliminate stuff that does not contribute to the party. Does that make sense? If it's a dumb idea, I love Stephen Davies. I love him and I love how he thinks. If it's your old you going, hey, I got an idea. You've got to put that in the E category. See, I don't like it. Sometimes. Now, sometimes I'm going like, that is a dumb idea. Oh, by the way, I love ideas. People always come to me with ideas. And they go, you want to hear an idea? And some people are shocked. They go like, you'll listen to any idea. I said, oh, yeah. Sometimes I'll do them. But if I have done the idea 3 times and it's a complete disaster, I don't like listening to it twice. So you tell me the idea, I go, no, that's stupid. And then you go, well, let me explain it to you better. I go, I'm not a moron. 58. I've been doing this 30 years. I've done that. If you got to do it this way, you do it that way. I'm not doing it. And don't tell me again, somebody getting ready to get punched. You know what I'm saying? Like, just leave me alone. Because I'm thinking of something else. I can't think about your idea because you like it. I'm happy for you. Oh. At least 300 people have said, I'm going to be on that stage at View from the Edge. Not if you're not an agency manager. Does that make sense? You want to be on this stage, go agency manager. Minimum. That's what we would consider having you say something. What if I'm in the top 10? That might work. Might. Top 3, you got a really good shot. So I hear you going to be on that stage, unless you're planning on coming in early before everybody gets there. Or you're going to book your flight later, like after everybody leaves. If that's what you mean, I'm cool with that. But if you're planning on being up on this stage here, you say, well, I already am an agency manager. How about that? Move up another level, maybe 3. You got to move up levels. Got to grow. Okay. Eliminate. There's just so many things that can be eliminated. Let's just go with that. All right. By their fruit they shall be known. By their fruit they shall be known. Don't you like it when people say like, just because you're rich don't mean you're smart? And I go, dude, nobody's going to argue with that. Because you can't argue. How do I say it? You can't, do we put it on a shirt? You can't argue with that logic. but I also can't cash that logic in for money. That's what that means. And I say, I can't argue with that logic. It means it's so dumb, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not going to wrestle with a pig. You wrestle with a pig, what's going to happen? You're going to get nasty like him. So I'm trying to find somebody like Bryan Adams who, when it's his opinion, and there's people like, well, my manager's got his head up his butt, and he thinks, why am I listening to this story? I'm going with Bryan Adams, not your manager, the guy who brought me in. Like, this is the noise we need to hear. Y'all know what that noise is? That's when it comes out of the butt. Does that make sense? That's what I'm listening for. Okay. My mama said, what? My mama said, like, bro, I don't know. No, you'll like this one. Okay. Okay, so you hear what I'm saying? It's like, what to do, like, I agree with everything Jeff Bright said, especially when he said a lead is a seed. And when he said buy leads to sell more insurance. I like that. What about all the other stuff he said? I agree 100% with what he said. Buy leads. If you didn't decide to increase leads, I agreed with you, Jeff. What else you want? I agree. If you didn't decide to double your lead flow, I hope you're one of them that's doing 1,500. Does that make sense? What if, I like this one, what if there's not that many leads where I'm working? Let me think. Now, y'all, you're laughing, and I appreciate you laughing, but I'm going like, no, I do this with people all the time. Let me think. And they go like, yeah, what are we going to do? I don't know. Because if you just tell them answer real quick, it's like they reject it. So you got to think like, oh man, I don't know. Should talk to the lead department. Oh, I got an idea. Let's get Olga and see what she says. Like, and then eventually you come to the conclusion, maybe you could travel to where the leads are. But I can get half of them here. It's not that I can't get any. Okay. Then what you do is you do here and there. Make sense? Okay? All right. Are we tracking? We're kind of on the same page. Not every phone call is important. Emails, not so much. I tell my staff, I go like, if they ever say, we emailed them, I go, did you text them or call them and tell them to look at their email? Because they do not look at it. They're worse than me. I get it. Urgent or important. Yeah, I'm not the rules maker. I'm the judge.